Hi, welcome everybody. So, unfortunately, this week Sean can't make it again, but we've got a whole bunch of our usual suspects. We've got Mark from Scotland, and we've got Lucas talking about Agri Squad today. So, welcome everybody. How's everybody doing today?
I'm doing well. Yeah, I think Mark's doing really well with the warm weather, by the looks of it.
I've been living here for 10 years, and I can safely say I've finally acclimatized because Scotland is currently melting. It's about 27, 28 degrees outside, and it's been like that for a week and a half. And I understand that is traditional Australian autumn weather, all right? My sister used to live up in Cairns, but it was anywhere between 27 and 40, and then the humidity up there, you're basically melting as soon as you go outdoors. No aircon in Scotland, so I got the fan going at 1,000,000 miles an hour here, and yeah, it's great. I'm loving it. Still haven't got it, but it is a thing.
No tan yet? No.
Sunburn. You can't get.
You can't get sunburn. No,
I'm outside all day, nice and warm. No sunburn. Not like Australia and New Zealand when you're outside for 15 minutes and you become a bloody beetroot within, Oh. No SPF 40 for me. Woo!
Okay, we've got two people to say hi to first. So we've got Sassy Gal. Hello again. Always great to see you on. And we've got Chris as well. So hello, Chris.
Hey, Chris.
And we have, Scotland comments. So
yeah, it's melting.
Can't be that hot.
Listen, if it averages about 7 degrees most of the year, it's hot. That's a 20-degree swing there.
Okay,
I tell you what is hot. Yep. Your Kickstarter campaign.
Thank you.
Oh, we talk about.
Are we jumping the gun? No.
We're jumping the
gun.
Wrong
segue.
Hello, run. Rewind.
Professionalism at its best. We practice, we get it all right. But we will give you time. Don't worry. Lucas, you'll get a whole stack of time.
I know. I hope so.
But this is actually one of pointing down. This is one of Mark's favorite movies. As in New Zealand, by law, he says you have to watch the extended edition, and you have to watch it back to back once a year. I think you mentioned.
But once a year, and all 7 different commentaries as well. So, absolutely. Okay. And we're just talking about Fellowship. We're not talking about all 6 movies, are we?
Oh no, the Hobbit movies don't exist. Ooh, fighting words and. Usual, Mandeep.
Hey, Mandeep.
Well, welcome aboard. Okay, so look, I'll throw this to you first, Mark. Mainly because one of the topics we're going to go through in the first Lord of the Rings is really about characters and character building. And the reason I picked Lord of the Rings is mainly because the characters are actually well defined. Like Sam's very different to Frodo. Even Legolas and Aragorn, they're all very, very different characters. So how do you view it, and how do you think? And the things we're talking about the screen version, by the way, because I don't think the book version is again totally different. But the screen version, how do you think the characters will go?
And I think what's really good, and a lot of people, if you had read the book before you saw the movie, they lent heavily. Obviously, of course, they were very good at translating the book into the movie as much as you could, because it's such a massive tome. And you've already got these inherent perceptions and pre-built ideas of what these characters are like. But it seems what they did was they picked out moments throughout the movie, and some of them were in different order as they were in the book, but they made sure everyone got those key moments that defined what those characters were. If we talk at someone like Sean Bean was Boromir. Boromir? Yes. Sean Bean, and the way, he was introduced speaking to Aragorn. And there's so many names you got to remember in details. But the way he was introduced in front of Aragorn as he looked at the shattered sword of Isildur. I'm remembering it all. It's all coming back. There was just a little moment there that showed you, why don't you take up the sword again? Why don't you come help fight us down in Gondor? This is going to be a the brain
Oh, no,
clicking over. Remember the name.
This is great. Yeah.
But that little moment, and then you see him confronting the council Council of Elrond, Council of Riverdale, and saying that the ring should be used as a weapon and whatnot. And they slowly build him up, and the whole way through, you're thinking he's a bad guy. He's really selfish. He's going to use it for his own means. And his redemption right at the end before his death, it showed, he, at the end of the day, he wasn't just this one-trick pony. There was more to him, and they did very well in the other movies. The Two Towers, I think, there's a couple of flashbacks with him and his brother, who I will not remember, but I know it's played by an Australian actor. I think, and the time, this movie had time to play with, and people did expect it. There was an expectation it was going to be 2.5, 3 hours long, or whatever the hell it ended up being. And I think the audience went in there knowing that it wouldn't be a million miles an hour, but every scene and every moment had a purpose that drove the story forward. And every time there was a character interaction, it was done on more. I think it was more focused on the character rather than getting the ring to the to Mount 2. That's my perception.
Oh, no, it's absolutely good. Just to, I didn't want to interrupt you. Faramir and David Wenham.
David Wenham, yes, of course.
Oh,
Faramir,
Lucas, what's your thoughts on the different characterization? Oh, by the way, I always liked the first Lord of the Rings was actually Boromir's story. It wasn't anybody else's story. It was he's the only character, if you go through the theory of writing and stuff, he's the only one who actually completes his character arc. Nobody else does in the first Lord of the Rings. He was the only one. So technically, Lord of the Rings is Boromir's story.
No, Fellowship of the Rings.
Fellowship of the Rings. I corrected. But it's Boromir's story because he's the only character who actually makes it from beginning to end, and the only one who goes through the entire arc. So I will. That's the hill I will die on. That's the hill I will die on.
No, absolutely. And I think that takes into account a couple of things because this is well before you're looking at Joseph Campbell's hero's journey and stuff like this. This is Tolkien's story back in, I want to say, the early 1910s, 1920s, 1930s, about there. So this is an innate thing in storytelling that people knew, and it's how we write our characters as well. We don't even realize sometimes how we're putting them through this. And as you say, the rest of the characters had their journey spread out over 9.5, 10 hours or whatever the hell it was. So that's a really astute perspective. I'll go with that.
I was just curious, Mark. When you talk about what Tolkien wrote this like in the 30s and so forth, like did he go to war and stuff like that, and did that sort of influence these characters and like what he perceived?
So absolutely, The Hobbit was the first book he wrote, and then and a lot of it was based on wartime, World War One, and he was in battle. There's actually a movie called Tolkien that stars Nicholas Hoult as Tolkien, and it's basically a biography. A little bit of Hollywood in there.
Yep.
But he grew up. I think he went to Oxford with Lewis Carroll, who wrote Alice in Wonderland, and C.S. Lewis.
So he's around these sort of people.
Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe.
Right. Okay.
I believe there was a group of friends, and they were writers together. And a lot of their stories were, heavily influenced by, in those times, World War One and the start of World War Two as well, and the loss and tragedy, and you get it in the movie, and they take those extra moments to show that loss and how much it really means. Gandalf, that was in the Fellowship. Gandalf falling against the Balrog, that massive moment there, and then they come out of the mountain and they just take a moment to see the hobbits in tears, Frodo looking towards the distance saying we have to move on for him, and all this sort of stuff. They did. I think the translation from the book into the movie and taking those character moments just an extra beat more than they normally would. in let's say Fast and Furious.
But Fast and Furious has family. You got to remember this is not
Family, yeah. This is about family. Yeah.
Let's not start those memes. But yeah, it was interesting, and yeah, definitely made the movie longer, but it definitely sucked people into it, and it made this. It's a movie about character rather than just.
Oh, I look 100% agree. Like a lot of the actual Tolkien bits was actually trimmed right down. Like I've read the books. I read the books before the movies, and a lot of the description and stuff. There's a lot of scenes. He just said, you know what, skip that totally. Let's just cut that out. Cut that. Mainly because they understood. Look, we've got 2.5 hours, give or take. We've got X number of characters.
Even then, and you got to remember, even then, that was a stretch to get movie theaters to agree to that, because a lot of it is when you're looking at movies, they're booking times and they want to get as many flicks through the day as they want. So if a movie's going to be 2.5 hours, that knocks out an extra movie they may be able to play, or an extra 2 movies.
One more screening is gone for the night.
Yeah, but what ended up happening is they were just filled to the brim. So it worked. And
Chris just reminded me of something. There was no singing in the actual Tolkien books. Everybody sang, and when they walked.
That's right. Yeah.
So
there was singing. They talk about the Green Dragon, and they're singing that in the pub, the first pub where they met Aragorn. Pippi and Merrin are singing about the Green Dragon. The Green Dragon.
I'm going to try to find that YouTube clip now. I did like it that it was really a character piece, and that's why I really enjoyed it. That sure, it was this happened, then this happened, then this happened, then this happened. That was that movement of what they call different sequences or different beats through the movie. But they did spend a lot of time on each of the characters. You got to see when Boromir died. They actually showed Aragorn getting really, really upset, and and understanding. You know what? In the end, Boromir was trying to do what's right, what he believed was right, which is basically use the power of the enemy against themselves, and that's why I think Boromir was never the bad guy, but he was the antagonist. But I always thought that whole redemption thing was fantastic.
I mean, his death was in the peak of the horrors of war, when these monsters, the Uruk-hai, yes, up to then they had goblins. Pardon me, too much Coca-Cola. They had goblins and demons and the Balrog that they were running away from, but the Uruk-hai were a new breed of war-bred monsters that had never faced, and that. Again, you talk about World War One. That's the true horror and the true face of war in front of you. And he went out swinging. He went out a hero. And that whole that death scene is just so powerful. Just he's got 4 arrows in him, and he's still going, and he still gets up, and he's still going, and bit of a piss take. But yeah, it was for a movie that has so much CGI and amazing special effects. And models, and like I said, go on all about the behind the scenes stuff. The amount of detail that was put into it, the fabricated chainmail and everything like that. It was those little moments that made it better. I can't speak highly enough of it, because it's a weird one, because a lot of those things they spent so much time and money on, you barely see for seconds. But you watch some of this behind the scenes stuff, and as actors, and just being in the scenery, and there was green screen, but there was a lot of it that wasn't green screen. They're just using the natural environment in New Zealand, and they were like, we were there. It felt real, even though these guys right here are on their knees, and there'll be a green screen shot. The split between a couple of reels, but it was at the time. I think even most Kiwis are kind of stunned at what they'd pulled out of their ass, and everyone knows someone who's been in it. I've heard stories about actors and what they'd get up to on the weekends and stuff, and things that cannot be repeated, and probably hearsay, but probably happened, because it was and the movie at the time, I think, what was probably another, you had Jurassic Park, which was 92, which was probably your first real CGI and animatronic movie that people went, holy shit. And this one, just with the massive army scenes and everything looked at as decent quality. And then I'll just say the big difference between this and The Hobbit, it was done on film, and The Hobbit was all digital, which is why you see Hobbit, and sometimes it's like, why haven't they got that right? It's just a bit, you know, and that's the frames per second on the cameras and the amount of detail that actually comes out. I'm sure when they're sitting in front of their computer screens, it looks exactly the same. But once you get that on a big screen, those lines blur, the uncanny valley and all that sort of stuff goes a bit fuzzy. But the fact that Jurassic Park and this movie was on film, it lent to a bit of grittiness and realism.
Yes, there's a bit of organicness to it as well, isn't it?
Yeah, well, Lucas, you've directed films and stuff, haven't you?
Oh, yeah.
Well, you know, you've
scale.
no, but probably not that scale. But
I totally agree, because they were playing with like the 48 frames per second with The Hobbit, and obviously, you know, Lord of the Rings and so forth was shot in 35mm motion picture film, and it goes through that process. It's still digitized on the back end, but there's something. You know, the sun hitting celluloid and chemicals and stuff, and then you know, there's something else in between the lens that happens. I don't know what it is, but it's just, you know, it's maybe magic and so forth. But it was interesting.
I think this was one of the first films that had color grading as well. I recall in the extras, so that helped. That helped that uncanniness and just, you know, blended it. It just throw a filter on it and everything just softens, or it just it was a good move from them to do that.
Because I think prior to that, it would, you know, what they call digital intermediate, where they'll color grade and they can really, without touching the original negative, they can really hone in and change, you know, colors in the background and the scenery, whereas before it'd go through a post process of, you know, chemicals and artists who were used to using, like, you know, certain chemicals to get certain colors out without sort of visually seeing it from there. But now, you know, they had, like you said before, they had, you know, a weld that they could control and just build layer upon layer. And even with the detail of places like, you know, Weta, just, you know, creating swords or, like, you know, things on horses and stuff that you wouldn't, you know, see for a split second. It just adds that, you know, little extra bit that keeps that, you know, world large and lifeless, but not lifeless, alive. What am I saying? Use the right word there. Come on.
But the number of practical effects was incredible, and I've seen some of the the makings of, like, basically they built almost every city. Every city was almost totally model built, and they just panned across the model, and
it makes sense, doesn't it? If you look at it, it's like it's right there, but it's forced perspective and all that sort of stuff, and it's the detail. You can tell a difference between a digitally rendered building but the scale of these models, even though it's like 12 scale, they're fucking huge.
Yeah.
Oh, they're taller than me and you. You know what I mean? Some of the models. Like, I think the original Star Wars trench run, you know, the very famous sequence, you know, where Luke Skywalker, you know, and Vader's behind him and trying to stop him. That's all practical effects, you know, and that's, I think, one of the reasons why Star Wars actually has aged pretty well comparatively.
I think. Actually, this is a good comparison, because around that time we had Phantom Menace came out, and then Attack of the Clones. They were about 2000, 2001 when Lord of the Rings, Fellowship came out. And they were so far the other way with digital that it was just a bit rubbery and cartoony in the background. You know, like they decided they went the CGI Yoda I didn't mind in episode 2. But yeah, some of that stuff there, they went the other way way too far. Whereas here seems to be a very nice balance of practical, physical, scale models and everything. You know, they took the best of both worlds of what worked and what technology was like at the time.
Look, we'll probably end it on favorite characters from this, and what, you know, which one and what arc do you think is the most interesting out of the first movie? Lucas?
Me, I've got a confession to make, guys. Like, I'm not. You're gonna hate me, Mark. I'm not like 100%. I'm not like 100% into Lord of the Rings and so forth. But, like, I appreciate that, you know, obviously Peter Jackson, where he came from as a filmmaker in New Zealand, and what he's been able to achieve, and obviously the storytelling that Tolkien's created here. I'm actually I'm actually really just seeing this image here of Viggo and Gandalf and Orlando Bloom, like you guys knowing the book and so forth, like and seeing this image here. Is this like as close to what your imagination was sort of envisioning when you were reading it? Like, Viggo's a fantastic actor. Like he's just nuts. I like him in everything he does. Like he's just unreal. But
actually, funnily enough, in the books and stuff, they actually go shirtless quite a lot.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah. So it was much more a barbarian feel. So they actually went more. They changed. Look, I much prefer this to the way I imagined it. I'll just leave it at that.
I think I've seen the movies so many times now. I don't think I can actually disconnect between what the book was like and what's it like. It was pretty bloody close.
Okay.
Some scenes in particular, the way they were written, and then seeing them on film, I was just like, yep, just lined up, and just you could feel the barriers clicking, and but it's I think as much as a technological achievement as it was a critical and box office success, from a guy who came from bad taste making this hand film thing with brains exploding and zombies and it just makes no sense from a guy who's come from this backyard filmmaking to that in about 10 years. It is ridiculous. And and look, it just shows anything can happen to anyone.
Yes.
Put your mind to it.
That's exactly right. Yeah, it is actually mind-boggling when you think about that, like Bad Taste, Brain Dead, and like I enjoy things like
Feebles. Have you ever seen Meet the Feebles?
I have, and I was like, "What is this about? I don't understand this. This is bizarre."
It's basically the puppets. R18 Muppets, basically. It's out there.
Yeah.
I've been quiet because this is replying to Lucas's question. So, and you've seen this. I'm sure you have, Mark. You know I'm going to start. I'm going to show. Give me a sec.
What is going on?
Give me.
I'm worried. I'm worried.
This is actually closer to Tolkien's original character designs.
Yeah.
Okay.
And it was actually closer. You had the loincloths. If you read the books, the descriptions actually fitted this image a little bit better. That's why when the movie came out, I was so happy that they actually made it much more medieval. And you could not sell this. You could not sell this.
Well, it was a rotoscope type movie. It was very dark, and it was supposed to be for kids, but it was is it Ray Bradbury? No. They only released the Fellowship of the Rings in this movie series, and it was late 70s or early 80s. But it was heavily rotoscoped, like He-Man and stuff. Yeah. And it was dark as hell for a kids movie. Whereas the Fellowship is actually quite bright.
It wasn't a kids movie.
Well, they couldn't afford. That was the thing. I mean, I think at one point Terry Gilliam, the Monty Python guys, and they were looking at trying to make a Lord of the Rings at one stage in the 70s and 80s. I think I feel like the Beatles had the rights to it or something. It was
Terry's a good animator. He did all like the Beatles clips and stuff, didn't he? Yeah, like Yellow Submarine and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and
anyway, this was if you read If you read Tolkien's description, this actually was much closer to Tolkien's description than
that's Boromir, isn't it?
That's Boromir getting arrowed through him.
Yeah,
for a kids movie, this is where he dies. But
wow,
that's why I'm really happy with the character design in the Jackson series, because this would have been a bit cringy if it was brought to life this way. And look, to answer my own question, the main one would be I love Boromir in this movie. I do love Sean Bean in this role, mainly because, like I said before, he's the only one who goes through that entire character arc. And look, his heart was in the right place. You've got the most powerful weapon in the world. God damn it, just use it.
Yeah, for me, it was probably Aragorn was probably my favorite, because I always, there was a lot of in the book. But the way Viggo brought him out was incredible. And Viggo wasn't even the first pick to be.
I read this, yeah.
Who was the first pick?
Stuart Townsend was.
Yeah.
And but then
he was quite young, and him and Peter Jackson had a chat. They were canoe training and stuff. And Peter pulled him aside, and they were like, "We're not feeling this, are you?" And he's like, "Nah." And he even admitted, "Yeah, something's not right here. It's not working." And Viggo got a phone call, and he asked his son, "Oh, do you know anything about this?" And his son said, "I'll never forgive you if you don't do this." And then they flew down, and a week later, they flew down to New Zealand for 3 years.
Yep.
That's a big call to make. And I think that's what I know. He was always about, and thereabouts, Viggo, but it really just totally impressed him, the way he immersed himself in the character and the training and everything. And you hear about all these stories about when he's got his days off and stuff, and he's out doing fencing training and fishing, and just became a man of the land for those 3 years.
I think there's one scene, if I remember right, I think in the second movie, where something happens to his foot and he just
smashes the helmet and breaks his toe. And he's screaming. He goes to his knees. It's just before the hobbits go into the Ent forest, and they're trying to track them, and it looks like he's lost them. He's like, there's a pile of bodies burnt, and he kicks this helmet away, breaks his toe, and goes and goes to his knees. And he kept it in the movie. Smashed his toe in a couple of places. So
he was really was screaming.
Really screaming.
Yeah.
Wow. Dedication.
Method.
Whatever gets you in that character, whatever works. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to jump to, give me a sec, I'll just share this one.
Angry Fred.
Fred. Here we go. So
how angry is
he? This is the thing. Like, he's actually got a really good heart, this Angry Fred. It's only when he gets peed off that he gets very angry. Yeah, he's got the deep-seated demons and so forth, but deep down he's like a nice, lovable guy. Yeah.
So what you're saying is we wouldn't like him when he's angry.
Do we want trademark? No trademark impression. Let me do that again, because I want to make sure I get the sound right, so that when I can get make sure the audio is shared correctly, so that when we play the movie, it's not all. Let's try it this time. Let's see.
Hi, my name's Lucas Scheffel, a comic book creator from Australia. In 2020, I launched Angry Squad Code Angry, a story debuting Angry Fred, a grumpy old go-to guy, and his team of trigger-happy counterparts. After the success of this first Kickstarter, Angry Fred and his team are back for more action and adventure. As some of you may already know, Angry Fred is based on a character my late dad played in a feature film I created. I'm extending my dad's creative legacy. I want to keep the Angry Train moving and bring this universe to new and astounding heights. We more than ever need to escape as humans, especially during a time of uncertainty. I'm hoping my stories provide readers with a sense of relief and will be uplifting. Creating stories is important to me. Getting them out of my head and sharing them with the world is even more important. So get ready for a high-octane ride. With the help of a past lover, Angry Fred and his team set out to stop a deluded soldier from wreaking havoc across Las Vegas. And like a 1960s Elvis movie, the heroine's fate will be decided by a car race through the desert. When Angry Fred's war buddy Battle Jackson and former lover Rusty Moores come back from the dead, it's on for young and old. Battle Jackson was Angry Fred's right-hand man during the Vietnam War until he came home in a body bag. Now he's an unhinged war veteran with a second life, unstoppable powers, and nothing to lose. Unfortunately, the sexy and seductive Rusty Moores adds to the mayhem by leading Angry Fred astray into an emotional no man's land. It's now up to the Angry Squad to stop a twisted love triangle and the tyranny of emotions from taking down the man they call Angry. I've come to Kickstarter to create a new installment of the Angry Squad so we can get it into as many hands as possible. As an independent creator, the platform allows us to deliver original and fresh stories unbound from normal industry channels. Viva Los Angry artist Martin Pissot has already made a head start on the book, illustrating the first 40 pages and several high-energy car race sequences. Martin was the variant cover artist on Angry Squad Code Angry and has been instrumental in bringing Viva Los Angry to life with his bold and hyper-inked artwork. For the first time, I'll be offering backers 3 exclusive tiers where your likeness can be featured in the comic book. These rewards range from cameos to an exclusive one-page role where you can get to interact with Angry Fred. If you're already an Angry Squad team member, welcome back. But if this is your first time hearing about the Angry Squad, don't worry, we've got you covered. You don't have to know anything to read and enjoy this issue. We've got a catch-up reward tier to get you up to speed, plus there's loads of angry add-ons to immerse yourself into the Angry Squad universe. As you are already aware, this project is close to my heart. My goal is to make sure that every backer leaves this experience satisfied and excited about the next installment of the Angry Fred universe. Thank you in advance. Your support means the world to me, and I'm sure my father would be pretty chuffed to see Angry Fred's evolution if he were here today. What are you waiting for? It's time to get angrier. Back Viva Los Angry on Kickstarter today.
Let me just bring back.
There we go.
That was awesome. Who did the initial animation part? You know, when the fires are moving and stuff.
I actually got a guy for Fiverr to help me out with that. Yeah, I can't take the claim to fame on that one. So yeah.
Well done.
Yeah.
Well done.
Yeah, it was really good.
Yeah,
Really good. I
cheers.
think I may be hitting you up later for his details.
I've already shared them out with another guy randomly on Facebook. So yeah, I've got the guy's details waiting. So yeah.
No, mate, that was brilliant. That covered. That's a really, really good video. It covers everything.
Thank you.
Just so as you say, your artist has already done 40 pages. How big is this thing?
It's going to be a 60-page book, so we're going sort of a little bit bigger than I did in the previous book. I think the previous book was around about the 44-page mark, but I've decided to do 60 big pages of banging action on this one. So it could have been a bit longer, but I had to sort of reel in my story writing skills and really cut out the fat and really stop putting too much fluff in there.
Artwork, because if it's 60 pages for artwork, you're probably looking at page count close to about 70. You realize, because you need a title page on the first page.
You need a title page, yes.
Then you need all the credits. It's nice. And then you need your second page, which this is a first printing, blah, 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 all the credits.
Put in a box at the bottom, it's fine. Don't worry about it.
No. Separate page. And then you've got the end. You need to have from the writer. You've got to write about your experiences.
That's a good tip.
All that in. It's
but there's 60 pages of story. So
I know.
There could be 66, maybe. I don't know, but there could be. That's something I'm holding on to later. So.
If you break into chapters as well, you need a chapter page breakup as well. So that's you're adding. You realize, I think. What was the count? I think at about 64 is the absolute maximum you can get for nice looking saddle stitch, like the stapler.
Yes, right. Okay.
You've crossed it already. If you hit 66, you can't use. You need to go
perfect bound. Yep.
64 is your. I mean, you can go over 64. There's no rule that says you can't, but it just doesn't. You're pushing the limits.
So aside from the intense technical aspects that we discussed, so it's a story you can jump into, and it's a done in one, but it's evolving your Angry Fred world.
It is, yeah. Like this story sort of takes place sort of well and truly after the first one, so there's kind of a gap. So the first one was Code Angry. This one's Viva Los Angry, and there's like a gap in the middle that I'm going to explore. So a lot of these characters here, they've evolved, and you could just jump right in. You don't have to really know exactly what happened in the previous one to a minute detail. But you can jump in right here and just get immersed into the high energy, high octane action that I'm presenting you with. But in this, I'm introducing a bad guy, which we can see here. Named Battle Jackson, who's I guess Angry Fred's arch enemy. He sort of comes back from the dead. He was once Angry Fred's right-hand man friend back in the war, but now through a weird twist of events, he's come back from the dead and he's haunting Angry and his team. And then an ex-lover of Angry Fred as well comes back from the dead and causes a lot of emotional mayhem around Angry Fred as well. So a lot of tyranny of emotions going on, and love triangles and that sort of thing. So.
And I
I'm
noticed
just keep scrolling. Oh, I'll keep scrolling
Yes, sir.
down. Let me know if you want me to stop. at
Oh,
any point.
what is
I
going
love
on
this
there?
part. This is
Is
the
that a
coolest
GIF?
part.
It's a GIF.
that
Yeah,
a
I just took the video that the guy did and just turned it into a GIF. So yeah,
That is
I-
a
that's the part I
very,
like.
very
a lot of
clean
layers
GIF.
and yeah. Well, technically, if you want to know, technically, I used Premiere Pro just to export it out in a low enough resolution file at like low dimension to get it onto Kickstarter. So
Yeah, that looks clean as hell. Yeah, I'm way too tight to go for Premiere Pro. I just
I use it for
I've been
work, so it's just
oh,
my work pays for it. So.
and I must say, your caravan was looking very lovely in the
Oh,
video.
thank you,
I could
Mark.
tell
That's a
that
little
was the caravan.
Yeah, that was a labor of love for sure.
Oh, yeah.
I'm
Oh,
in right
mate,
now,
it's-
actually. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, the other end. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's,
But the artist that he's got a lot of it's very strong lines and then bold but it's
very
full of energy as
bold.
well.
Yes. That was one thing I wanted to sort of go with this one. Like it's high action, sort of a high octane adventure, and I really wanted to drill that home. And when he came to me with some drawings, I was like, oh man, this is cool. Sort of like not so much a realistic look of what this would be like, but it's like a hyper sort of vivid sort of look of what's going on here.
Did he
And Angry
color
Fred's
it as well?
world.
By the way, the same artist.
The same artist colored it. Yes. Yeah.
So
I
if
like
you
it.
you were to compare it to any Fast and Furious movie, which movie would it be?
I don't know if I want to be comparing it to Fast and Furious. Well, like the first Fast and Furious film was, for me, is quite. I enjoyed that, as much as I think there was a little bit of a rip-off at the start from Point Break or something in that film.
It
Yeah,
was a
very
Point
much.
Break
Yeah.
rip-off.
Oh no, it was almost page for page Point Break, but with
Yeah,
surfboards.
sure,
It's ridiculous.
True. But yeah, maybe Vin Diesel rocks up in this. No, he doesn't. No.
I like the colors. Look, it's that bright in your face type colors and the
high key.
and
Yeah.
the other thing that you bit of color theory, it's the yellows and the reds. Like at least you pick it. This is why traffic lights work really well because
Yes.
that bold. The red is danger straight away, so you can kind of say that what he picks. It's really well done. I think it's
awesome. A shout out to Martin Pusso from Napalm Comics. He's the artist. He lives in Uruguay. He's a very interesting guy. What's this?
Twice. I've mentioned it twice.
we'll bring you back, Mark. We'll do the whole nine movies and how it all and the timeline between this and Tokyo Drift. How Tokyo Drift.
No.
But what the Ocean Shore like spin-off as well? Is that a part of the whole series as well? Do you want to talk? No.
Sebastian. Look, let's
Okay.
Let's go back to your Kickstarter. I'll keep scrolling down. No, I really like. I love the colors.
Martin Pusso from Napalm Comics. He lives in Uruguay. He's the artist. He did the inks and the coloring, obviously. He's an interesting guy. Loves his 80s sort of memorabilia. Collects a lot of wrestling paraphernalia. Plays in a punk rock band, and just a lot of his funky vibes and energy sort of instilled onto this book, as you can see. So yeah.
Okay, I'll keep scrolling down.
Yeah.
And what in the way you got
Yeah.
some? Yeah, I saw you've got some unique and interesting rewards there. I saw an Angry Fred Lego man there.
I did.
Let's keep scrolling down. Take
a look. As an add-on, I've got like an Angry Fred mini figurine. Obviously, I just went and sourced all the parts myself off the internet. So it's got the classic red jacket, the angry face with sunglasses, and the blue jeans. But he's holding. Some people get confused by this. He's actually holding what looks like a stick or a staff or like a magic wand. It's meant to be a cigar, obviously, but it's obviously quite big. So just as a recommendation, anyone that gets this as an add-on, don't be sitting there trying to light that plastic up. No good for the environment. All right. So
if it helps, Lego has a no smoking policy. That's why
exactly.
you never see a pack of cigarettes. You never see a cigar.
Don't smoke. But yeah, we've we've got playing cards as well. Sort of custom playing
I'll scroll
cards.
back up. So we'll run
Yeah.
through some of the
Okay.
rewards and stuff.
All right, cool.
Firstly, the link has been shared in the comments in each of those. So if anybody hasn't checked this out already, please take a look. It looks really, really cool. But let's run through all the rewards. And
cool.
So you get the digital here.
Yeah, you get the digital rewards. Obviously, if you want to catch up, like on the last Angry Squad, or the current one and the next one. And also, I've got a couple of digital rewards from Big Tim Styles from Gorilla in My Dreams and Andy Jenkins with Blood and Concrete as well. So that can immerse yourself into that world too. As we go down.
And this is 1 and 2. Yep.
Yes. Yep. That's correct. Yep. And then obviously there's the main cover. It's a wraparound cover for the book. And like with every physical reward, I've decided to put in like a movie lobby card, like a movie style lobby card that sort of harks back to the day of like 50s and 60s cinema. When you'd walk into a cinema, there'd be all these lobby cards that you could pick up and take home as a part of the film. And this, probably hard to see here, but this little bit of artwork, it's got Angry Fred and Rusty Moore's in a car. And in the background, there's Battle Jackson, the bad guy, in a hot rod with a Tommy gun chasing them. That card there is actually based on a image from Viva Las Vegas with Elvis Presley and Anne Margaret. So that's my little sort of connection and homage to that.
So I'm guessing that's where this one comes in from.
Yeah, that's where Elvis is trying to wipe the sweat off his goggles. Just classic Elvis movie, as it is. So yeah, that's I'm a bit of an Elvis fan, like a bit of a crazy Elvis fan. I had to stop collecting Elvis memorabilia after my wife told me to, so because I collected a bit too much. But anyway,
it's an investment. That works.
I think so. Yeah, I think so.
You don't want to see the rest of this room.
No, I know. I was just going to say. That's why I live in a caravan now. I can't take anything with me. No, joking.
I recognize this one, the 45. That's a classic homage cover. What about this one? The one before it?
The one at the top, the ballistic one. This is actually from an artist called. It's actually a tribute to an artist called John Royal that I found online, and he had this really cool looking bit of artwork of this guy. So it was like a Miami Vice type style. Bit of artwork where this guy was driving away and they were shooting at some bad guys in the background, and so we just sort of adapted that into sort of the angry Squad and Angry Fred being chased by the bad guy there. So that's what that one's all about. So yeah.
And this one,
Action Comics 1,
everybody knows that one.
Yeah,
so.
Seems familiar. Yeah.
What's the inspiration for this T-shirt design? Like this looks like a movie, like those old movie scrolls.
Yeah, it's like an old vintage movie poster, that sort of thing where we've got the main the main character and his love interest and that sort of thing, that cool sort of vibe. So yeah.
Yep.
Yes.
And you did something that's actually I appreciate. You know how those movie posters when you have the characters like that and they put the names in the wrong order as when you're looking down?
Yes.
That's a absolute personal bugbear of mine. You actually have it. The characters lined up with the names.
Oh, good. So is it like when you see a movie poster, it's like Mark from Aurora Comics is here, and then SK is here, but your names are swapped around. Is that what you're saying? Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. Okay. Right. Okay.
Yeah. Look at most movie posters. It's not in the right order.
Yeah. It goesn't out.
No,
does it go how much they're
something
paid?
to do with contracts and how name. Yeah, it's contracts and how
names
have asked.
Yeah.
And starring and with Samuel L. Jackson at the end of the band
Right.
movies and with
just
person and
introducing.
also up his own backside by.
So yeah, you can get as well. You can get the triple threat deal where you can get all 3 covers of each variant and obviously the main book. And then you can get a pack as well of that with the playing cards that I've got here too. So all the playing cards are like poker sized cards. They feature all of the Angry Squad on them, as well as the bad guy and the love interest as well. So
fantastic.
I've got to ask a question about the cards. Mainly because most is it just the backs which have the artwork, or is it the front and the backs?
No,
it's the front and the back.
front and back.
That's very impressive. That's So
we've
got, Queen of Hearts would probably be the love interest, I'm assuming.
Yes, yeah, and you've got like Gary the Gorilla is the ace in the team, that sort of thing. Yeah.
I
What's
need to
Angry
make a note.
Fred?
You've just given me a really good idea.
Oh, okay.
What card? What was King? Oh, Jack probably. Jack of
Jack,
Spades probably.
Jack of Spades is I think Angry Fred's what is it? Marcus Knight, his sort of right hand man, helicopter pilot guy, is the Jack. And obviously Angry Fred's the king, of course.
King.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
I'm really glad you did this one this time.
Yeah, I toyed around with this and I wasn't sure if I should. And then obviously Moira, who's not on the show, she's not here today, tuning in, but she she kept at me. I want to be in the book. So I thought we've got to get a few cameo appearances in the book. So you can have your likeness drawn in the background as in a scene with Angry Fred and so forth. If you back this sort of cameo appearance, get drawn as the book tier here. So there's that.
So
unofficially, Moira needs to be in every universe.
Moira is in that book.
Yes.
Yeah. So as your universe is now connected because Moira is in both.
Books. Right. So we're all connected now.
Is she in the Angry Fred universe?
She
will be. She will be.
An immortal being that transcends dimensions of time and space.
Quite possibly.
Maybe.
There's
a story.
Have you drawn Moira into this land yet?
Yes, she's in. She's already in there.
No, I have not. No, he's in this land.
No,
land.
No,
this one. And why not? Just
because it's been drawn for 2 years.
You don't want to go back and erase it. No, it's true.
Just rub some of his face out and
slap it on.
That's the only thing about that's why I started the Kickstarter, because I just need the colouring and letters to be done for each issue. So so August 15, but we'll talk about that later.
Yeah, no, cool. I'm there. August 15.
Do you have a pre-launch link yet? Yes, you do.
He does.
Can you?
96.
Can you send it to me in the comments,
and
I'll share it out. Just you reminded me. I totally forgot. If you put it in the comments, and I'll get that shared out for you. Part of the stream. This one is to get drawn in, but I'm assuming this one is a talking role. This reward.
Yeah, that one's already gone. Actually, it's like a one-liner where you can interact with Angry Fred on one page in a number of panels, but it's gone. I'm afraid you cannot do that now. So that got snapped up on the first day. So yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Frame poster.
You get a frame poster of the vintage, Viva Los Angry poster, a pack of playing cards, and like all the covers in this unique sort of pledge here. So yeah, that's a sort of a higher end reward tier. And this is the big kahuna. For this one is like over 2 pages. You can actually get a role speaking to Angry Fred throughout the book. You get to play a security guard who chases Angry Fred through a shopping mall, doing a bit of shoplifting and being a bit naughty and stuff like that. But you get a lot of other cool perks with that. Obviously, the T-shirt, the cards, and where did Mark go?
I'm not sure, but if he jumps back on, I'll let him back in.
Yeah,
I did not kick him out. Putting it out there, Mark.
Just putting it out there.
Just in case anyone accuses me, saying, "Why did you kick him out?"
But yeah, that tier there's got everything.
Welcome back.
He's back.
I don't know. Yeah,
I was just saying, I didn't kick you out.
No. It was definitely on my end. The connection's just gone to pot. Yeah, see, I told you the country's melting. All the internet and stuff is falling away.
So look, let's keep going.
What was that?
The fan keeps falling down.
Oh, the fan. Oh, wow.
Yeah.
The add-ons which we talked about before. Obviously, T-shirts, playing cards, Angry Fred mini Lego figurine that has the cigar, stickers, that sort of thing. So I haven't done add-ons before. This is my first time doing it, so it's first time experiencing it, and they seem to be doing quite well. So yeah,
awesome,
pretty cool. And yeah, there's some cool stretch rewards when we get there. So yeah,
this is your 66 pages. If we get up to 60.
Yeah, that's right. It's probably going to be 70 now after your advice. But adding more value. Yes, that's what we want. We want more people to read stuff.
And it's all the add-ons and all the extras and the stretch goals are really important to a campaign. And I don't think punters realize how difficult it is sometimes to actually get them in there, because by adding 1 or 2 little things can actually blow your budget right out
Yes.
sometimes.
Yes.
But but you've got some great ones there, which is fantastic.
Yeah, no, I totally agree on that. Yeah, it's sort of crunching some numbers and so forth to make sure it works in the end. So, yes.
It's like the postage. You know, the last campaign, I gave one of the tiers, which ended up being the most popular, and I realise now why. All the international postage was for UK price, and all the on the UK price was international postage of one tier, and it just destroyed me.
Wow.
And I was like,
yeah.
I couldn't swap it around or anything after you launch it. So yeah. Cross your I's and dot your T's, kids.
That's exactly right. That's one thing you really got to do that. Yeah, get your ducks in a row. Yeah, for sure.
And that's how your artist looks like.
Yes, that's what he looks like. Yeah, that's what he looks like everyday life, just walking down the street. No, he's a really cool guy. And we've got obviously Rhoda coming on to help with some of the lettering as well. So
awesome.
Yeah.
Where's Rhoda from?
She's from the UK, actually.
Is she?
Yeah, it's just down the road. Yeah, from here.
Down the road.
Yeah.
Okay. So
yeah, and then at the end, yeah, project timeline.
Yeah. You've got 40 odd pages done. You're gonna. Yeah. This is not at risk. I wouldn't imagine.
No, definitely not. We're in a secure place with that. So.
And the rest is the shipping time.
I mean. We all just with shipping, we all have the best intentions to get it out there. At the moment, globally is a bit weird. I tell you, the last one, I had stuff arriving in Sydney quicker than it would in New York, which makes no sense at all.
The last book you sent me, it felt like it took a couple of days to get to me. I was just
it was crazy.
Astounded. It was nuts. Yeah.
But if I'd gone up a weight tier, that would have taken an extra 2 or 3 weeks.
Oh, wow. There you go. Wow.
Yeah.
Let's just take a look at how the campaign is tracking now. So, look, you're about halfway there. So it's and look, if you haven't already, please, people in the chat, people watching in, please do take a look at it. It's a great looking campaign. You're supporting a good Australian creator. We need more Australian made content out there. I'm going to share the link once more into the chat. And any last words about it, Lucas?
Look, just go to angryfredkickstarter.com/squad if you're really interested in getting on, board the Angry Train and seeing where this crazy Angry Fred universe goes.
I like the Angry Train. I like that.
Angry Train, you like that? Yeah, I've been working on that on every. But yeah, Mandeep, thank you. I know you're already backed, my man. Awesome. Thank you so much for that. I truly appreciate it. I'm so humbled by that. But yeah, get on the Angry Train. If you get onto my Instagram page at Angry Fred Comics as well, I've got a funny bloopers video of when I was recording this video for Kickstarter, and it just goes to show I'm the person in front of the camera. I hate it. But it's quite funny, and you'll hear my son in the background, like giving me direction, basically.
He was good. He was good. I pissed myself. I pissed myself for that. I couldn't put one out because it'd be effing. It
would just be beeps all around.
Pretty much. The whole that was 3.5, about 7.5 minutes of.
Yeah, so
I'm trying to find the video here, by the way. So
okay,
it was on Facebook as well.
It's on Facebook as well. If you need, it might not actually be. I don't know if it's actually on my.
I see.
It's on my Facebook page. Yeah.
Yeah, it's.
I don't think it might not be the one. But anyway, check Angry Fred at Facebook.
Have a laugh. Yeah.
Kickstarter search bar Angry Fred. There you go.
Okay, so in the last 5 minutes, we always want to try to support everybody. So in this case, I'll share the link to this land.
No, don't worry about me. Don't worry about me.
Oh, no,
come on.
I have to.
Come on.
Sell it.
Just for 1 second, then we'll jump back to them because I just want to make sure that we put your. If everybody who hasn't done so already, I've just shared the link to this land number 3. And my question to you on this one is: you're churning them out like crazy.
You are actually.
Are you giving yourself time to breathe? Because it seems like 1, 2, and 3.
This was actually originally planned to go out last month.
Oh wow!
Wow.
And I'm waiting till every reward is in everyone's hands. And there was just one more thing, because PR did some sketches, and just getting them back from Poland and then sending them out again is just taking a bit of time. So there's some really good news in the background about the book and stuff, which I cannot talk about yet. I'll tell you about it off air. So it's the idea, because as I said, all 5 chapters are completely drawn. It's just been a matter of colouring and lettering, and that's just getting. Everyone's had a rough 2 years, so just getting time frames into place and whatnot. We'll have a new letterer on this campaign as well, because Hass, absolute brilliant genius, busy man. He's doing a lot of stuff at Image, and I'm down the pecking order, which is fair enough. So yeah, and he runs the amazing panel by panel digital comics analysis magazine every month, and does a lot of his own Kickstarters and stuff. Who's absolutely brilliant. So we've got a new letterer coming on board, Rob Jones, who I've worked for before with Schism, and Rob's done heaps of stuff UK wise, and works for Medius Comics. But this land 1, 2, and now 3, Gods and Monsters, is basically anyone who wants to jump on board. All the previous books are available. There's a tier for that. And now we're getting into some real nitty gritty now, where basically we open on a big kaiju fight in the Valley of Waitomo Caves, or the White Tomb as it's now known. Ooh. And but it's a very much bring on the bad guys book. And
cool.
Nice. Stuff's gonna go down.
I really enjoyed the in the previous version receiving the coloring book. I sat down with my son and we did some pages. It's good. It was a lot of fun. Yeah.
So the good thing about the coloring book, and there's a digital ashcan that everyone got as well, that previews the whole series, so you can see what to come, and it doesn't spoil anything. It's like, oh, that looks cool. I wonder how that works with that. So yeah, it's the coloring book was actually a nice, really easy way to offer more, because there's quite a few splash pages and double page spreads in there. It was a nice way to offer people something else that's a bit different. And next time around, you'll love this. You guys will love this. Bear cozies.
Ooh,
bear coolers.
Cool.
Flat pack, you see. That's good for the postage.
Yes, that's good.
So yeah, bear cozies, and a few custom Funko Pops as well.
Funko Pops,
which I've done up myself. We've got some more New Zealand artists on pinups, which is great. And a alternative, a variant cover by Loki cover artist Oscar Yildirim, who I work with on Hurtgirl, and he's done amazing Days of Future Past cover. Which I can just grab real quick.
Oh, okay, sure.
Sweet.
Can I? Where is it? Boof and boof. And there's the dog. Yeah, so Days of Future Past variant cover.
Oh, nice.
Which is brilliant.
That's awesome.
And I've made a whole lot of custom.
I've seen these on your Facebook page showing them. Yeah, they look amazing. Yeah, wow. Cool.
Oh, cool.
So yeah, the weird and random skills you pick up during a lockdown.
But you guys are out of lockdown now, aren't you?
Yeah, sure.
Sort of.
Yeah, well, don't. It's
Don't go there. Yeah.
No. So look, we've got 2 minutes left. Lucas, it's all yours. You want me to scroll up, scroll down? You've got your last pitch.
Just stay there, Stephen. Stay there. Look, like I said before, guys, if you want to get on the angry train and to keep it moving, we've got some great rewards and so forth, and like a really, really solid book, like a lot of hyper inked artwork, really vivid colors and so forth, and some crazy and zany characters that come along the way. And it takes Angry Fred in a very different direction from maybe the last book. There's a few things that happen that I can't really talk about because you have to get the book to find out about it, but it's pretty cool. It's really cool.
That is not an easy thing to do sometimes, is it?
No, it's not. It's not. I just want to tell everyone.
It's a good book, but I can't tell you anything about it.
But yeah, like I said, go to the hyperlink angryfredkickstarter.com/squad, and that'll take you there. So yeah,
No problems. And if you like, check the comments and you can click it there. I've commented
Yes.
across both
Yes.
Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch now. So it's in
Twitch.
all three areas. So just click and you're there. We've got 10 seconds left. You know, we can go over a little bit. Doesn't matter. Look, thank you guys so much for always coming on. It's always a pleasure. And look, if you haven't already, please do check it out. Play the video one more time. It's an awesome looking video, and all the best. And I'm really hoping to get my copy. I've already backed, so I'm
Thank
really
you.
excited to
Thank
get
you.
my copy.
Thank you. Yes, I know. Both of you have. Thank you, guys. I really appreciate it.
Okay, and that's it. That's it. Take care of everybody.